Hey, good morning. It's Dr. Bob Flower with your Thursday, November 21st Master Pattern Report. We've been absent for a while, little surgery, nothing important, another one coming up, nothing, critical. But we're getting back into the groove again, and let's rehash some of the stuff that we're working on. As I told you, we did a straddle on our silver position, and it's just sitting right there doing nothing. I actually lost a little ground off of the $20 mark that we straddled. We are looking for a bump in silver, so we're going to be covered either way, and if not, it's going to sit right there. And the way we played the straddle was we shorted the call and we shorted the put. So if it stays there, we make money. If it goes up or down just a little bit, we break even. And if it goes up or down a lot, which I think it's going to move up, we'll make some money. Okay. And short term, I think we're in February. I think February or March options. So a little play there that we like, and we're also looking. We bought some. Actually, we shorted some calls, which means we went negative on the CDNS. CDNS, and we're about to do the same with another one, ARUN. We like this. There are a couple of market mavens who are touting this, and the activity on both of these, the option activity is very high. So, and we like what we see on the master pattern concerning these. So we're working on doing some sort of straddle with those, if at all possible, if it makes sense. Okay. The market is a little tired here, but we think it's going to start making another run right into the end of the year, and then we're going to see what's going to happen then. And a lot of this is tied to what's happening with politics, as of course it has become. And I know I told you that I didn't want to get into politics, but I'm going to make an exception to the rule here, because I think that what's going on is something that people are becoming more aware of. And I think that we need to have some leadership and clarity here, okay? So here goes. While I like the president personally, in fact, I have grown up in my neighborhood as a young boy and young man with people like him. That's why I have been against him from the beginning, because I know the type of person that he really is, and a lot of people are beginning to find out what he is. Now, again, this has to do with my freedom, my quality of life, and many others like me, including many of you who will watch this video from all over the world. What's going on here is an absolute destruction of the American dream. Everything that this country has believed in, that has made it great in the 230 years, it has become, we have to keep in mind that this is not an experiment any longer. In the history of the world, there has never been such success and power and wealth in any nation, okay? And we are now in the process of destroying it. We are trying to become what others are and what they want to be with us, to us. So this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And you have nothing but socialist and communist thinking. In fact, it's so bad now that the government, the White House, is considering giving Russia spying facilities on us within our own country. all right? Observational accommodations is what they're calling it. This is ridiculous. People are getting stopped on the road and given saliva tests. People are being punched out. And, you know, this is a complete breakdown in law and order, like we told you 6 years ago what was going to happen. How is this country going to fall apart? It's going to be basically from a total breakdown of law and order. And the law and order is coming from the government first, because when you have things such as 4.5 years with no budget, which the Constitution states is mandatory, that's a breakdown of law and order. It's also very stupid, because it's like you living your life without having any concern about how much you're spending and how much you're taking in. And that's exactly what we're doing. The only thing is, you know, they've got 320 million jerks that are paying the bill. Well, you know what? This jerk is not paying the bill anymore. I've had it. This man is a moron. The people around him are morons. There is no accountability with these people. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I didn't, oh wait a minute, I know this. Okay, I didn't know anything bad, but I did everything good. Well, right now there's no more good, and it's all bad. I mean, you want to go down a list, and I don't have to Benghazi and the NSA and whatnot and all that, still hanging out their fire. You know, just you know, terrible, disgusting descriptions of ineptitude and indifference towards the vitality and the wonderful spirit that made this country so great. Okay? Now, that does not mean that I'm going to let Wall Street off the hook, because Wall Street has become just as bad, if not worse, than the president. And by the way, I'm not letting George Bush off the hook either. And you may have heard me say this before, but you know, he was the beginning of the downfall. This guy is doing a great job in continuing that downfall. Right? But we have to put the fault on Wall Street as well. The power and control and corruption is astounding. It's incredible how these guys are getting away with what they're getting away with. And of course it's because of people like the president and our senators and congressmen. So law and order is breaking down. And these people, they passed, here's the one that really got to me. Last year the Congress and the Senate passed a law that regulated their involvement in the stock market, and then 3 months later they disavowed the law. They changed it so that now they can play insider games in the market again, above the law. Well, you know what? Let me tell you how I feel about guys like that. You know, because they're the congressman, because they're the senator, because they're the president, if they can do it, I can do it. Who are they? They are actually come to me with their hat in their hand and ask for my vote, for my support. No more. No. What we need to do is we need to have a revolution. All right? And by the way, here's another aside here. Governor Cuomo says, you only need 7 shots to kill a deer. You don't need more than that. Mr. Governor, Mr. President, and all you others, I got some very, very bad news for you. The Second Amendment was not meant for hunters. It was meant for patriots, citizens, as a means to take back their government against tyranny. Okay? So in that respect, I would like to have a tank, never mind a .50 caliber machine gun. I want a jet fighter, if I can get one, to keep you bastards in line and get you the hell out when the time comes. This is anarchy. You guys are the evil ones, and unfortunately, you're in control for a little while longer. Right? We need to have the revolution. And perhaps the way we can start this is by some sort of have a digital revolution, right? And let them know what we stand for by virtue of a virtual digital revolution. In other words, let's have our own government, virtual government, right? And let's show them and our other fellow citizens how a country should be run. And let's try and pay as much attention to that group as we do to the phonies in Washington, right? And once we get the idea, once we get the interest flowing and the thinking flowing and the type of concepts that we need to make ourselves whole again and make people who want to be in control and make and achieve the American dream capable of doing that, things will happen automatically. I promise you this. This is part of my natural intelligence program. Right? It will happen when people see, even if it's not in actuality, what can be done and what is planned and what's on the table. Eventually, that reality, that virtual reality, will become a real reality. All right. So I know some of you have said there's got to be something that we can do aside from literally picking up the guns and blowing them out. And by the way they're going with the Chinese, we don't have to worry about it because the Chinese are going to come in and blow them away. The way that they're going, they're building up the biggest military in the world, and these people are out to transfer all the wealth in the world to China and all the other, North Korea and everybody else. And if you don't believe me, just think about this last UN meeting with the nations on this whole thing with climate control, where they are demanding that the wealthy nations of the world, primarily the United States and Europe, pay them $100 billion a year in reparations and in preparation for the coming climate control mess. Screw you, and screw them, and screw anybody that wants my money and wants my efforts. You're not getting it. Mr. Republican, you're not getting it. Mr. Democrat, you're not getting it, okay? So it's time that perhaps we all dropped out of the Democrat and the Republican parties and just become independent and let them know what real independence stands for by virtue of this virtual reality government, okay? Let me hear from you. There's a lot to be done here, and there are a lot of things that can be done. This is Bob Flower, one disgusted citizen, ready to take action for the revolution. Thank you. Have a good one.